The Detroit Lions practice squad is good to go right now with 13 players. That's the initial one. There's going to be, obviously, more changes made in the next day. The Detroit Lions claimed a player off waivers, and we released a player. But before we get into today's video, if you think it's a sound and smart idea to place your hand on a saw blade and just go all the way down to see what would happen, go ahead and subscribe to my channel because we talk all things Detroit Lions news and rumors. Sometimes being a Lions fan, it feels like you can lose some limbs. Also, take that like button with you and let that bad boy get cut up. Let's get into today's Lions practice squad. Before we jump really into the practice squad right now, Lions did claim a player, Benito Jones, 6'1", 318, 33-inch arms, 9 3/4 hands, 2 years experience in Mississippi. All he really is right now, folks, is going to be a rotational player for the Detroit Lions defensive line. 2 years experience, again, with the Miami Dolphins. So he's a younger guy here. Not the biggest claim, in all honesty, for the Detroit Lions, but a claim that can help them out for a rotational period. We've been talking about that here on my channel, getting better on, rotation, because in the fourth quarter, that's where it's all about. His career stats are nothing to hang your hat on. 1 solo tackle, 1 assisted, nothing big right there. So, rotational guy. If you want some more information on it, you can go to Lions Nation Unite. And I did more of a breakdown on that video. Folks, you need to follow me on Twitter. This is my Twitter handle, @MicroMike85. I am dropping a lot of news, breaking news on there just for you guys to get quick information before the video pops out. Why? Because sometimes it takes a couple of minutes for that bad boy to occur. Before we get really into the practice squad players, the Detroit Lions actually released Jamar Jefferson, the running back there, who is RB4, initially made the 53-man roster. So the Lions right now are sitting at 3 running backs. Idea you would assume is he would go on the practice squad. We'll wait and see. But really, are they sitting with 3 running backs, or are they going to make another move there? I don't know. It's an interesting decision that they did there. To me, I felt like Jamar Jefferson should have not made this roster. I believe Justin Jackson should have been the guy. That's my personal opinion. Maybe you disagree. Jamar Jefferson, it just felt like he took a step back this offseason, this year so far, for what he did to last year. He just seemed undecisive regarding hitting the hole. He wasn't getting the best every opportunity he was given in preseason, and other players like a Justin Jackson was doing a much better job. So we'll see going forward what happens regarding that, if he goes to the practice squad or whatever. So let's go ahead and jump to the practice squad really quick. Now, you can have 16 players on the practice squad. Right now, we got 13. That's what they announced. Again, they're probably put in for some players in the next couple days or day to fill it up all the way to 16. Maybe they throw David Blau on here. As you know, he was released. Maybe they put Jamar Jefferson on there because he was released today. So just an FYI, that is something that they can do, and why they don't fully got the 16 on board right now. Garrett Griffin, tight end here, extra tight end for the Detroit Lions. No issue with him being on the practice squad. We decided to go 4 tight ends here for the Detroit Lions active roster. You know how we use tight ends for the Lions? It's generally more not just a tight end role, but utilized in very different ways. Have we seen like a Jason Cabinda type of role? Everything they got going on there. Not really a big of a deal for him. We'll see what he can do. If anything, if there's injuries to the tight ends for the Lions, we generally stay with our players that, we have on the practice squad. That's what they did last year. They didn't really pick up. They just picked up players from the practice squad. So this practice squad means actually a lot. Cornerback is Saivion Smith. He made the practice squad there, released him. Depth player at the corner position. I don't really know his effectiveness regarding making the 53-man roster. It has to be a ton of injuries because we got a lot of corners on this team. It's hard for me to believe that we would just get in a massive amount of injuries to require us to bring on Saivion Smith. But hell, you know, we know it can happen for sure. We've seen it a million times. Hopefully it doesn't. A.J. Parker, I know a lot of people were upset that A.J. Parker was released, but he's on the practice squad, so no harm, no foul. Practice squad to me is like the 53-man roster because, again, we bring these players up if there's injuries, so no big deal. He's on our team. No team claimed him. Matter of fact, only one player was claimed from the Lions releases, and that was actually the kicker, Patterson. Interestingly enough, he was claimed. No one else was claimed for the Lions, so you're good to go there. We're definitely going to talk about Tom Kennedy here. Tom Kennedy was placed on the practice squad, folks. He was placed on the practice squad. A lot of people upset that he was released by the Lions. Didn't know if he'd actually make it to the practice squad because, as we know, the Detroit Lions utilized him a lot in the preseason. He made a lot of noise in the preseason, getting a lot of catches, a lot of touchdowns. The guy was very effective, so teams that really needed to get help at wide receiver, it was a concern. Would they actually, take on a Tom Kennedy? Well, it looks like we got our answer right now. That is not the case. So Tom Kennedy is back for the Lions. That should make the fans happy. Again, if we have injuries, he can come in here and help out. But right now, that is not the case. We are really good at the depth at wide receiver, and that's the hard part for this. If you wanted the Tom Kennedy to make this roster, understanding that we have such good depth there, it's difficult. It is difficult for them to do that. So we'll see how it goes along with injuries this year. If there's injuries, he can get on there. Let me know in the comment section, are you happy that Tom Kennedy is back? Y for yes and for no. Let me know what you think about Tom Kennedy coming back to the Detroit Lions on the practice squad. Let's continue on here. We got Justin Jackson, who I'm real excited the Lions decided to get on this practice squad. Did really good in preseason. He was my guy, and him showing out in preseason, I was worried that he wouldn't make it to the practice squad, potentially him getting claimed. It did not happen. Justin Jackson is back with the Lions, so if we do have some injuries to a DeAndre Swift, we can bring him up. Really good insurance for injuries. I love what he brings to this team. Happy he made it. Now our draft pick here, James Houston, 6th round. He jumped up back with the Detroit Lions on the practice squad. Edge rusher / linebacker, whatever you want to call him. A lot of people upset that he didn't make the 53 because he was a draft pick. I knew he would make the practice squad. Just seems exactly like a player who would not get claimed, would make this team. Developmental guy. Maurice Alexander, kick returner / wide receiver. Good pickup here. I really want to see if the Lions succeed in kick and punt returners this year, or if they don't. If they don't, I would love for the Lions to bring him up from the practice squad because it's really important to have good special teams, getting good spot for the offense and field position battle. So he's here so we can pick upon him if things do not work out early on for the Lions season. Jarrad Davis, practice squad. I didn't think anyone would pick him up either. Look, if you're a Jarrad Davis fan, he's still a Detroit Lion, just making a lot less right now. I think that's fine for him to be on the practice squad. I'm kind of happy he didn't make the initial roster. I would like for the Lions to continue to look for linebacker help. There is going to be quite a bit of free agents now, so go ahead and look for that. Derrick Deese as well, jumping in as a tight end. Lions love tight ends. Why not have 500 million tight ends? He is a guy to have now for the Detroit Lions, making 6 between practice squad and 53. Bruce Hector, feels like this guy's been on the team for a while, making the practice squad. Heck, Hey, if there's injuries to the defensive line, will they even bring him up? I don't know. Maybe. He seems like he's just been here for a while. Kind of like an Andre Fluellen situation. If you guys remember, Andre Fluellen was part of the he was part of this team, get cut and re-put on there, get cut again, and just come back on. Very funny. Anthony Pittman, a lot of people were questioning why he didn't make the 53. Good on special teams, and we had issue at linebacker. He's on practice squad, so I didn't think he'd get picked up by another team. Fine with him there. Again, just like special teams, if we start to have coverage issues on kickoffs or on the return for special teams coverage there, I would love to have him on there, make some tackles, help the Lions out on special teams. That's what he's for. So if we have issues, you can just bring him up. Dan Skipper, big guy, huge body. Makes sense to put him on here. I didn't know if you'd make the initial is between him or Matt Nelson. I preferred Skipper over Nelson, but either way, we got Skipper on this team. Still, just like Derrick Deese, I would like to have, just like linebacker position, I'd like to continue to look for a tackle position, a backup tackle maybe for practice squad. And Obinna Eze, he made the practice squad. Good for him. Now his wife can put a smile on her face. I know she's real hard on him in Hard Knocks. I didn't think he'd make the 53, but he did make the practice squad. So he can develop a little bit because he's a player, let's be honest, that needs to develop. Folks, make sure you go ahead, hit that notification bell, hit that like button, subscribe, drop in news and rumors 24/7 on this channel. With that said, folks, adios.